If you haven't already, make sure you download Ultimate Fan. Link is in the description. It's a free-to-play game. There's also a subscription service to enable you to get better players with more packs. My team is still looking strong, but if you haven't yet downloaded it, you can join my Invitational League and download the app in the description. Let's get into the video. Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel for your second video of the day, which on a match day usually means there are 3 videos uploaded. We had a video about an hour or 2 ago now. I try to put them up as close as I could because on a match day, time is pressing. The game is tonight. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff, I believe, or at least I hope so, because I've already set my alarm just in case I miss it. I spoke earlier about the Romelu Lukaku situation, gave my thoughts on it. I don't want to address it too much in any more detail today. When we pick my team, you guys will see what I've gone for. I always try and pick my team with a personal tint of things because that is the creative nature of making a match preview on YouTube, but also thinking about what Thomas Tuchel may well do mixtured with what I would personally like to see. Brighton and Hove Albion are a decent side. They're a very, very good team. Graham Potter, very good manager. I did not expect as much as what Brighton have shown us this season. They can be very difficult to beat. The big boys quite often struggle against Brighton, be it home or away, and we have found it quite difficult to play against them at times too. We've had a couple of big wins at the Amex, but tonight's game I think is going to be very difficult for Chelsea. I think Brighton will smell a little bit of blood after Chelsea's result against Man City, because even though we only lost that game 1-0, it felt as though what the game meant could end up having more of a detrimental negative impact to Chelsea than losing 1-0 to one of the best teams the Premier League has ever seen, which I believe this Manchester City team under Pep Guardiola are one of the best Premier League teams we've ever had. I don't think they're the best because the 04-05 Mourinho Chelsea is my number 1, but today it is imperative that Chelsea go out there, put in a good performance, and the issue that we have right now, Chelsea fans, is whatever happens that does not result in 3 points for Chelsea Football Club, scrutiny is going to rain hell on our football club. Thomas Tuchel, if Chelsea lose this game tonight, I read somewhere, I didn't clarify this, I probably should have done before. If we lose the game tonight at Brighton, which isn't a crazy thought the way things have been going, then we're actually on a worse run than when Frank Lampard was sacked just a year ago, which is an incredibly mad thing to think about, but there is not a single part of me right now that believes that the issues that Chelsea have rest with Thomas Tuchel. It rests with him in the sense that he's the manager, he picks the team, he's the one setting up the tactical plan behind games and setting out the starting 11 to combat whatever the opposition's going to throw at us. That is on Tuchel. But at no point right now am I in a position where I'm thinking if we don't get a result here or we don't get a result there, then the manager's got to go. I've seen some crazy takes on this one, but for me, Thomas Tuchel, I believe, is the man to take Chelsea forward, not just today, not just next month and for the rest of this season, but I think if we do this correctly and we are really serious about the future investments that we make for this team to improve it, then I think Thomas Tuchel can certainly win Chelsea a Premier League within the next 3 seasons, but I believe in 2. Without any further ado, we are going to pick my Chelsea starting 11 tonight, and the goalkeeper, he picks himself. Edouard Mendy's at the African Cup of Nations, so Kepa ARRIZABALAGA is in goal. The Man City game, I gave him a yellow box. I'm often very, very critical of goalkeepers, only because I was a goalkeeper myself, and I never used to like it, being in goal, to be honest. So whenever I see a keeper, particularly my goalkeeper, not saving something that I think he should have done, then I always have something to say about it. But that being said, I love the way that Kepa has started to play on the front foot. He's kind of got that element of like an Edison, Alisson as to how he is so quick off of his line. He tries to sweep up the danger before it really becomes a danger, which I think is one of the key elements of Kepa's game. Very good in the box too, made a brilliant save to deny Jack Grealish at the Etihad as well. It's the long shots that I think there is a couple of players in this Brighton team, McAllister, maybe Trossard, they could pop one thinking, well, that is Kepa's weakness. So I do think Chelsea will have enough to get the result today, and I do think they'll be aware that Brighton will be aware that they might even try and do some of these long shots. So Kepa in goal, I've got no concerns whatsoever. We move into a back four. Yes, I told you. It's a mixture of what I want to see. It's also a mixture of Chelsea dealing with still an injury crisis, but also what I think Thomas Tuchel might try. We begin with AZPILICUETA in the right-back position. My thoughts on Azpi at the moment are that I do think his game has deteriorated. Not in the sense of he's finished, I don't want him to sign a new deal. I want Azpi to sign a new deal. At the moment, he wants 2 years, Chelsea want 1, with the option of the club to extend, which Azpi does not want. He wants 2. You can understand why. He's getting on a little bit. Reece James, when he's fit, is clearly Chelsea's number 1 right wing back. And Chelsea also want to dip into the market in the summer for a right centre back. Jules Koundé is the club's preference. So, Azpi's in there. Alongside him, in the back 2, is Thiago Silva and Tony Rudiger. Now, I call it a back 2, but the way that the team that I've lined up today could work is it could transition in-game without making a substitution into the 3-4-3 or the 3-5-2, whichever way you see it as, that we are so used to under Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea. Thiago Silva and Tony Rudiger in the centre-back positions, despite whatever anyone wants to say about the way Chelsea have defended, the way that our form has crumbled and our title bid has been distinguished, or extinguished, should I say, by Man City's brilliance and our poor results. I still think both Rudiger and Thiago Silva are up there as 2 of the best centre-backs in the world. And I would argue that one of them, right now, I can't decide which one, is probably the best in the world at this moment in time. Moving into a surprise inclusion, but fully deserved inclusion for Malang Sarr in the left-back position. We saw against Spurs that he was advancing so well up the pitch, which tells me that he could be a left wing-back option if Thomas Tuchel wishes to use him as one. And I think today, because we've seen how good he can be defensively, I thought he was decent against Manchester City, to be honest. I didn't really think there was any fault that I could have given Malang Sarr again. And it's been like that now for a while. And I think Marcos Alonso, I didn't give him a red in the game against City in the 6 things we learned, but he was arguably one of the worst players on the pitch. So with Sarr's current form, with Chelsea still looking at trying to resolve the wing-back issue, which we're trying to bring Emerson back. Emerson wants to come back, but Leon are still reluctant to let him go. Talks are ongoing. I think Tuchel's going to be looking internally right now at a solution. And I think seeing Malang Sarr, can he play as a left-back in a back 4? I think he can. Maybe it goes dreadfully wrong and then I look like an absolute tit after the game today, but that's what I would go for, moving into a midfield 2 of Mateo Kovacic and N'Golo Kante. I think if we're going with a back 4, we need to have Kante in there. There's absolutely no question about it. He's fit, he's ready, it's fine. Jorginho with a 4-2-4, which is the way it's lined up in my graphic today, I think Chelsea would come unstuck, and I think Brighton would beat us. And that is nothing against Jorginho. He's just been named in FIFA's Team of the Year, so congratulations to him. I still love Jorginho, but I think in the system I've gone for today, it would only work if it's Kovacic and N'Golo Kante. Moving into the right wing and left wing positions, meaning we've got 2 strikers. On the right, I've gone with Mason Mount, and on the left, Callum Hudson-Odoi. If Chelsea want to transition this in-game, tactically in-game, move it to a 3-4-3, then it's imperative that Callum Hudson-Odoi is on the left wing. Timo Werner cannot do the defensive wing-back role that Callum can. It isn't where we get the best out of Callum, but it enables us that ability to save an early substitution in the first half or at half-time. If it's not working, then Callum Hudson-Odoi can transition to the left wing-back role. Can Mason do it on the right? I'm not entirely sure, but I'm 100% not convinced that it can be done by Christian Pulisic. Azpi can move to that right wing-back position, meaning that Mount stays advanced with Sarr, Silva and Rudiger in the back 3. The 2 strikers that I've gone for today, I know the question if you watched the earlier video already, did he pick Lukaku? Did he pick Romelu? I did, alongside Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz for me has to start in this game. Tuchel came under scrutiny for leaving both Mount and Havertz on the bench for the City game. Both players, the assister and the goal scorer, when we beat them in the Champions League final, didn't play. That was the scrutiny that Tuchel rightly received after the Manchester City defeat at the weekend. So, Kai Havertz and Mason Mount definitely come back in the team. And I've given Lukaku another chance. I thought he was awful against City. People, even I said, well, yeah, the service wasn't there. But you've got to change something up a bit. You've got to make different kinds of runs, maybe. We talked about Lukaku a lot earlier, but I think he'll start alongside Kai Havertz today. And I really hope, because again, things can be misconstrued. Perceptions can kind of be taken by you about what you think I think about stuff. I want Lukaku to succeed. It's not like I want him out of the club now. It's the middle of the season. He's our record ever signing. I want him to do well. And I think the best way that we can get the best out of Lukaku, be it if he stays for the length of his contract, or if we get the best out of him to the end of this season and he's still not happy and he wants to go and Chelsea want to bring in another striker or bring Broja back. In the meantime, I think we've got to try and play to his strengths without totally adjusting the way that we play too much. Because I think what we've learned under Tuchel is that he's a masterful tactician. The dog has decided to break himself into the room. And I think Kai Havertz is the best player to play alongside him. Timo drops to the bench. So does Christian Pulisic. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below about this team and about what you think is going to happen tonight. I think Chelsea are going to go and win 2-1. We've got to win this game tonight. Otherwise, we're going to start looking down to the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th place positions and thinking, well, how much is that cushion going to be for the top 4? Can we afford to keep dropping any more points? I'm approaching this season now like we're not in a title race, but we're in the race to win as many trophies as we possibly can. So top 4 is a necessity. We know that. And let's try and keep pace as much as possible and hope for a bloody miracle from Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. But anyway, let me know your starting 11 and score prediction in the comments below. As I said at the beginning, if you haven't yet downloaded Ultimate Fan, be sure to do so, and I will see you guys after the game. Come on, you Blues.